Hello, everyone. Good evening, all of you. I welcome you to this session, last lap to SNAP and IIFT. Just a second. My voice is echoing. Just give me a second. Yeah. Okay. Right. A very good evening again. I welcome you to this session, and today we'll untangle grammar together. Yes, we'll look at what all areas are questions asked from in grammar, what all we need to prepare for. We'll solve a lot of questions on these topics, right? So, all of that and much more. Hi, Varun. Good evening. Good evening. Hi, KS. Hello, Mohit. Good evening. Hi, Vedant. Good evening. Hello, Tulshi. Good evening. Hi, Priya. Hello, Mansi. Right. So grammar, I believe, is one area where, if you prepare a little, if you, let's say, know the concepts behind various parts of speech, know the rules behind them, right? If you devote some time to it, then you increase your marks, right? By preparation, you can increase your marks, right? So let's see what all types of questions are asked, what all topics, so to say, which all parts of speech are questioned on, right? Let's have a look at that first and then we'll solve some questions. Okay. Hi, Sanjana. Approximately 1 hour, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. That will be the duration, right? So we'll look at various questions and of course we'll see how to solve these questions because what I feel is sometimes students waste time here. Sometimes students hurry through these questions which leads to errors. So how to balance your time, how to solve these questions, that's also something that we are going to focus on. Okay, so let's have a look at our previous year papers, as in let's analyze what all types of grammar questions have been asked, right? So VA in IIFT carries 19 marks. When I say VA, I mean both vocabulary as well as grammar. Now, out of this VA, 11 questions from grammar came last year. Okay, so in last year's IIFT, 11 grammar questions, that's a very significant chunk. Now, what was their breakup? If I talk about the types of questions, error detection, punctuation error spotting, fill in the blanks, sentence correction. So, all your usual grammar question types are present, and in addition, punctuation was also asked. So, we are going to do punctuation also today, some punctuation error questions, right? And specifically, you can see the topics, see verbs, articles, comma, apostrophe, prepositions. So, that tells me that parts of speech are important, aren't they? Verb is a part of speech, a preposition is a part of speech. In fact, countable and uncountable nouns were also questioned on in IIFT last year, right? So, all the parts of speech that means become important, particularly prepositions. Yes? Then you should be thorough even with various punctuation marks, not just, let's say, parts of speech. Articles, you can't skip articles also. So, if let's say, you can't just think, okay, 8 parts of speech done, ho gaya. No, articles also you have to study. So, an in-depth knowledge of grammar helps, right? Hi everyone, those who've just joined us. I just saw your messages. Right. Okay, so let's have a look at SNAP now. How many questions of what type, what all areas were covered? 9 questions, 8 questions. So out of 15, if 8 questions are from grammar, then you yourself realize how important it is. Yes? Now, what all types of questions? So for the last couple of years, SNAP has been asking a poem, right? However, they don't ask a reading comprehension question, so to say, based on a poem. They ask a part of speech question. So that's why it comes under grammar, right? So prepositions based on poems, verbs, etc. Basically, they'll underline a word or a couple of words and then they'll ask you which parts of speech these words belong to. Fill in the blanks. Prepositions, see separate questions on prepositions. Nouns. So parts of speech, again, you see, they are important. Interrogatives. So interrogative sentences are what kind of sentences? Varun, not 20, 10 minutes, not more than that. Okay? 8 to 10 minutes is enough in case there is no RC passage. All right? What are interrogative sentences? Interrogation. When, let's say, a suspect is interrogated by the police, they ask questions from him or her. So interrogative sentences are nothing but questions. How are you? What would you like to have? Right? These are interrogative sentences. Error spotting again comes here. Error spotting, error detection, by whichever name you want to call it. So basically, if I have to filter out some common areas, parts of speech, right, in detail, then articles, okay, punctuation. Interrogatives are also at the end of the day about punctuation only, right? Isn't it? Then, apart from this, you can have types of questions, basically error spotting, sentence correction. Error spotting, sentence correction, FIV. This emerges to be the common, these are the common elements between SNAP and IIFT when it comes to grammar. Right? Okay. Great, great. So, today we are going to talk about all these question types: error detection, sentence correction, punctuation, FIBs, and our focus will be to cover various parts of speech also through these error detection and sentence correction questions. Right? So, uh, we'll basically hit two birds with one stone. Now, various grammar topics that are, important for these exams, don't worry, we will cover them in these two question types as I already told you. Right. So, prepositions, let's talk about them first. It's not that all the questions based on prepositions are going to be tricky, right? So, do use elimination. You yourself will see some of the previous year, basically questions modeled on previous years, how easy they can be even when they are from preposition. So, there's no need to be afraid of these questions. Yes, not from off. Let's see a question. So, what do you say and why? We'll see the rationale also. As long as there is a rationale behind using a preposition, I'll also tell you that why we are using a particular preposition. So tell me quickly, what should be the answer for this? A 10-second question. Okay, I think I'm hiding a part of the screen, is it? Okay, so fourth is through. D is through. Okay, so you don't even need to see fourth, isn't it? It is so easy, a question, and you do get asked easy questions also. So don't be under the impression that you'll always be asked difficult questions only from prepositions. Sorry. Okay, I needed to reduce the screen size. Somehow I am all over the screen. Okay, just give me a second. I think this should do. Right. Now, to is a preposition of destination. When I talk about my destination, I use the preposition to. So she is going to the market. Okay, he is going to the stadium. Towards is a preposition of direction. Sometimes students ask, okay, what is the difference between to and towards? Towards is a preposition of direction. So if I say she is going she is going towards his house. That means she is going in that direction, right? So direction, destination. And absolutely to is the one that fits here out of the given options. Through does not fit, right? Now coming to the second question. Let's see what you say. The second question. Can we use in as well? He is going in. Uh, no, let's say he's going inside the stadium. Yes, that makes sense. He's going inside. He's now going inside. So that would make sense. He is going into the stadium. Even that makes sense because there's movement, right? He's going into the stadium. But in is used when we, so if I say she is inside the house or she is in the house, that indicates something stationary, right? No movement happening. But if I say she is going into, then I should say into the house. Into is the preposition of movement. So in does not fit here, fit in the previous question. Right. So somebody saying by. Uh, so here, when we talk about an instrument, a knife is an instrument for us here, isn't it? We are using the knife to cut the vegetable. So a knife is an instrument for us. It's not an agent for us. By is the preposition that's used for agent. With is the preposition that we need for an instrument. So cut the vegetable with a knife, not by a knife. Right? You are cutting the vegetable at the end of the day. You are using a knife. Okay? So you are the agent and not the knife. The knife is simply an instrument and hence with. Okay, so with is the preposition that we use with an instrument. Let's see if there is any more use, okay, or if there are, yes, more uses. Let's have a look at that. We'll look at them in subsequent questions. Yes. Question 3. What do you say? From a knife does not fit, Gungun. Uh, I understand that probably you are translating it to English. There's a knife say kata, so you're thinking of the preposition from because of say. But no, that's not how it works. For an instrument, we use with. D, all right. So here again we use D, but see the usage is very different from the meaning. The intention behind using with is very different from question 2, right? To help someone with something, to help someone with something. So again, it means that, okay, you are helping them uh, for a particular purpose, right? So with what? With enquiries. You are helping them to a particular end, and help with. That is the usage, the standard usage. To help someone with something, help someone with a particular task. That's how we use it, with a task. Right? So with is the preposition, at enquiries no, from no, on no. On is the preposition of surface. So enquiries के ऊपर थोड़ी कुछ है, right? So on will also not be used. D Delhi is the answer here, and we just saw two very different uses of with. A very good way to actually learn all the uses of a preposition is the Oxford Dictionary. So if you Google with meaning, if you Google this, the first entry that you get is of the Oxford Dictionary, and it lists all the ways in which the preposition can be used, right? As an instrument, as someone possessing something, okay, in the context of helping someone with something. All these will be listed there. Okay. Let's have a look at the fourth one. Rat is fell. Shyam, rat has fallen. I think you should either say that or simply the rat fell. The rat fell or the rat has fallen. Okay, and it should be into. I don't think any of these options is correct. Isn't it in what context, Divyashri? Okay, so I've got B, but mostly I've got D. All right, all right. Ashish says for. Okay. Kishan says with. All right, all right. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. So I gave you a hint about this in the previous question itself. When someone possesses something, for that also I can use the preposition with. The damsel with blue eyes is looking for a notebook, right? So she has blue eyes, right? So the damsel with blue eyes, she possesses blue eyes. For blue eyes, no. The damsel meant for blue eyes. No. The damsel from blue eyes. Like, did she take birth from those blue eyes? What does this even mean? The damsel in blue eyes. No, these are not some clothes that she's wearing, right? The damsel with blue eyes. So, absolutely correct. All of you are correct. D. Delhi is the answer. So, Guru, for better voice clarity, I'm using these earphones, right? Uh, no, no, not instrument, Abhishek. Possessing something. Another usage of with. Isn't it? Damsel is basically a beautiful woman, right? Damsel in distress. Some of you might have heard this phrase, very popular, right? So, earlier, so a lot of novels used to have this plot, right? A young unmarried woman, and she'll always be in some sort of a distress. Then a knight in the shining armor would come and rescue her from that distress. Okay, and then they would fall in love. So, this damsel in distress comes from there. So a young, unmarried, beautiful woman is called a damsel. Okay. Uh, just a second. No, Divya, isn't it is fine? Isn't it is fine? Nothing wrong with it. Okay. So, for instance, if I say, it is cold today. It is cold today. Isn't it? Okay. Or in fact, let me just make this one sentence and I can make this another sentence also. It is cold today, isn't it? So I am using this isn't it just to emphasize my point. Just to emphasize my point. I actually expect agreement from you too when I say isn't it. So when I have this structure, it is. Okay, when I start a sentence with it is, I can use isn't it as a question tag later on. This is called a question tag. And this is used for emphasis or to seek confirmation from the other person. Right, so nothing wrong with it. Okay, now I have a doubt in the sentence. Tell me more. Is the word more a pronoun or an adverb? Okay, tell me more. Right, tell me more. So here, uh, okay, let's look at the various parts of speech here. Yes, tell is the verb, me is the pronoun. Now, when I say more, am I using it as an adjective here? Am I using it as an adverb? Am I using it as a pronoun? Yes, who will tell me? A good question. So, three options based on the possibilities: adjective, adverb, pronoun. What do you say? Yes. Is it an adjective? Is it an adjective? No, right? Because it's not describing me. Adjective tab hota if it described me. So, it's not an adjective. Now, adverb versus pronoun, right? See, you are asking about more of something, right? More of a story, let's say. So let's say a person was narrating an incident to you and you want to know more. So more of what? More of that incident, isn't it? So this more refers to that incident. This more refers to that incident. So it is a pronoun here. It has been used as a pronoun here. Usually when we have it as an adverb, it's accompanied by than, accompanied with than. Okay. So for instance, I like this more than that. I like A more than B. So there more is an adverb, right? Here when I say more, it refers to of something, so that something is the noun for which it is being used, and that's why it's a pronoun, right? Hope this makes sense. Pronoun is the answer. So those who said pronoun, good, good, good. Acha, this was there in a mock. All right, all right. uh, just a second, just a second. All right, all right. Through the stadium. He was trying to go through the stadium. If I treat the stadium as an area, then yes, he could go through the stadium as well, right? So in question one, how do I go? you are, if let's say you are in the cricket stadium, right, you're inside and you want to cross it, and you're asking someone, how do I go through this cricket stadium, right, then it would make sense. However, because we do not have all that context that this person is actually crossing the cricket stadium, the usual interpretation is that the cricket stadium is the destination and not something that this person intends to cross. And that's why, going by that usual interpretation, we'll say two. If we had that context that this person wants to cross the stadium, then even through is correct. Okay. All right. Let's keep progressing with the questions also. Yeah. So the damsel with blue eyes. Now, question 5. Yes, you should take medicines dash stomachache. Stomachache can be used as a single word also and two separate words also. Welcome, Charu. Welcome. In on at. Sham, I saw your query. I was just waiting for a question that has in on or at as the answer. Don't worry, I'll clarify this. Okay. For is what you say. So, in stomachache, no, stomachache is not a place, not an area. So, you can't use in. And this answers your question. When do we use the preposition in? In is usually the preposition of area, right? So, she is in the house. Okay, let's say I live in Jammu, right? He lives, I mean, basically for places, physical places, or to denote area, we use in. But that's not the case here, so that's why it's not the answer. So, medicines for a particular purpose, right? So, for this particular, let's say, discomfort that this person is experiencing. So, meant for stomach ache. So, that's why for is the preposition here. Now, on I just told you is the preposition of surface. So it's not a preposition of an entire area. It's not treating the thing as a three-dimensional thing. It's treating it as a two-dimensional thing, right? So on the ground, the team was playing on the ground. I am treating the ground as a surface, right? At. Let's say, maybe we'll come across a question that has this option. So I'll explain at there. Yes. Tell me. Question 6. What do you say? Yes, please press the like button. If you find value in the session, please do that. All right, Karthik says D. Others, let's see. Snigdha D, Smriti D, Anuj B. Okay, all right. So I haven't heard dash him dash Monday. Okay, so I am talking about a point of time. Point of time. So the preposition for point of time is since. So I haven't heard dash him since Monday. Eliminated. Now, a lot of students say A or C here because of from. Now, again, that's a translation. हम ये सोचते हैं हिंदी में कि मंडे से नहीं मिले, so we think that okay, from Monday is something that should come here because of say. But no, that's not how you should look at it. Since is the preposition for mentioning a point of time when something hasn't happened since that point of time. Okay, so heard for him, no. For means meant for someone. That's not the idea. Heard from him. Heard from him. So basically, he hasn't spoken to me since Monday. We haven't talked since Monday. That's what this person wants to say. So absolutely correct. D. Delhi is the answer. Okay. All right. Now, what do you say here? Fastest fingers first. Hmm. Why not C in question 5? Let's have a look at C in question 5. Okay. All right. Just give me a second. Of medicines of stomachache. Ah, see, the medicines, let's say if this person, mm, Medicines of stomachache. Medicines meant for makes more sense actually here, which are for a particular purpose. That's what I want to highlight here. Okay, so medicines meant for that purpose. Medicines of stomachache. Hmm, you should take medicines. No, no. Basically, we are talking about this as a discomfort, right? तो इसके लिए ना, so what I want to tell this person is, इसके लिए जो medicines होती हैं वो ले लो, इसके लिए. So that's why for is the one that will fit here, right? Meant for. Okay, not of. All right. Question 7. Yes, so I've got some responses A, C. Okay, then again A, C. All right, so both on the app and on the channel, YouTube channel, students are saying A or C. This is a good question. Why? Because it's a very common error that students make. Marking A. Between is always followed by and. Between A and B. Right? Between A and B. That's how we should put it. So between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. Not 2. Between is not followed by 2. Whereas from is followed by 2. From 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. So good, those who said C. What is the difference though? When I say the doctor will be available between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. versus when I say from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. What is the difference? Yes. So when I say from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., it includes the point when the clock strikes 9 and the point when the clock strikes 11. When I say between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m., it excludes these 2 points, these 2 precise points. That's the difference. Inclusive, exclusive. All right. So the answer here is option C. Hope this is clear to everyone. Perfect, perfect. Okay. Question 8. Fill in the blank with the correct preposition. Let's see, let's see. Good, good. Those who answered for between, the difference between and from and to. Okay. Let's see. So a lot of C's I've got, an overwhelming number of C's. Yes, Smriti, agreed, agreed. So, see, I'll meet you at night. See, we say in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, but night is an exception. At night, right? So, at is used for night, okay, whereas in is used for all the other periods of, for all the other durations, so to say, right? Morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, and they all take the also. But we don't say at the night, we say at night, right? Then let's meet in the evening. I'll wait for you. So this is again, I'll wait for you. The wait is meant for this person. And see, at comes again here at the bus stop. So when we talk about something as a location, a point, that's when we use at. So here also I'm treating night not as a duration but as a point. That's why I say at night. Similarly, I'm treating this as a location, an approximate location, and that's why I say at the bus stop, at the airport, right? Whereas in, as I told you, it's used either for an area or for a specific duration, right? That's the difference between in, on, and at. I hope this is clear now, right? At night, in the evening, for you, at the bus stop. So C is clearly the answer. Actually, you know, the options made this question pretty easy, right? Chalo. So C is the answer here. I think this is the last question on prepositions. Let's see what you say. Between upon and on. Upon and on, there's not much difference actually. Okay. They are used interchangeably. However, upon is used in certain metaphorical contexts. What do I mean by that? Metaphorical. So, On and upon, both are prepositions of surface. So they are playing on the ground, they are playing upon the ground. Both are correct, right? However, you must have heard this sentence, Christmas is upon us. Christmas is upon us. So upon is used in a metaphorical context to mean that something is about to come. Something is about to happen or something is about to come. So Christmas is upon us. That means Christmas आने वाला है. Right? बस आ ही गया एक तरह से. That's the idea. Here you can't say Christmas is on us. Right? So that's the only difference. Otherwise, on, upon, interchangeably you can use them. This is relatively more formal. Okay. So a question has been asked. Sam is dash hospital. If you are not putting any article, if you're not putting any article here, then in hospital, and that would mean that Sam himself has been hospitalized. Sam is the patient there. Sam is in hospital. Okay. However, if you want to say that he is just visiting the hospital and that is his current location, then you should say Sam is at the hospital. Sam is at the hospital. The is required there. Okay. A, C, D, all right. Multiple responses. He was wounded where? The location. This is given to us. Dash a bullet. Okay. So, fired dash. So, fired where? Again, location. Right. So, in the air. You can't fire something on the air. Air is not a surface, right? So, eliminated, eliminated. So, this was the easiest for me, the third one. So, I began with that. Now, injured or wounded by a bullet. Okay, by a bullet. Now, not with a bullet. So you must be wondering why with a knife, but by a bullet. So these are some nuances of prepositions, right? So this is how it has been used. The bullet actually wounded him. So here the bullet is not being treated as an instrument, but rather as an agent. So he was wounded in the leg by a bullet fired in the air, right? And of course, on does not make sense. That is also there. Wounded in the leg. I am giving a location there. Okay. So in, by, in. All right. So, when you are talking, Savni, when you are talking about this person as a patient, see, because the original question that was given to me did not use the, so I explained it accordingly. When you are talking about that person as a patient, then you will not use the. Okay. If let's say Sam is in the hospital, you want to indicate that currently this person is in this area called the hospital. You can use Sam is in the hospital also. It's not incorrect. The only difference is that when you say Sam is in the hospital, now this person is not a patient. Okay. Now this person is probably visiting someone and you are treating the hospital as an area. But when you say Sam is at the hospital, you are treating it just as a location and not really as an area. So it's about your intention. Right? In hospital bhi theek hai, in the hospital bhi theek hai, at the hospital bhi theek hai, just that meanings are different. All right? Okay, all right. So A is the answer. The answer for where can be in also, Sham, and it can be at also. It depends what is that where. Does the where refer to an area or does it refer to a location? That's the difference. Right? Oh, we have one more question. Yes, bonus question, prepositions. Let's see what you say. The 10th question. Okay. All right. Okay, okay, okay. All right. C is what I've got. Hmm. Okay. So basically C, A. Okay. Mostly C is summings. Go dash the end, dash this street. Go, you are saying at the end. When I'm saying go, I am indicating a destination to you, isn't it? So go to the end of this street and turn left. Turn right at the next roundabout. Okay. Turn right at, so when you come to the next roundabout, turn right. Okay. And then take the second turning on your left. So the answer is going to be C and not A. Go to the end of this street. Okay, now some of you must be wondering why not, let's say, to your left. Even two is correct here. So in the fourth blank, both are correct. On your left, to your left, both are fine, right? However, this at is not fine here. Go at the end. No, I am treating, when I say go, मैं उसको एक destination मान रही हूँ, and that's why it should be to. Okay, off was common. On and to both are fine. So it comes down to to and at here. Okay, turn right to the next roundabout, even that would make sense, but then the meaning would be different. When I say turn right to the next roundabout, then I'm treating the roundabout as a destination and not something that you turn from. Okay, so meaning may difference. Mainly the choice is C because of this. Go to the end of this street. All right. I hope this makes sense. Smriti is asking, why do we say on air when we talk about somebody's podcast, right? Or something being broadcast on radio, we say on air. You're on air, right? Or this was an on air interview. This is an idiomatic usage, okay? So, when we say on air, basically we are referring to a specific frequency, and that's why we say on air. That's the intention behind it, to distinguish it from just something that is just out there in the air, right? That it's a specific frequency that's being broadcast. Okay. All right, all right. If he has reached, then on your left. Uh, Second turning, see, on your left, to your left, what is the difference? It's a very, very subtle difference actually. When I say on your left, I mean in general. जो आपके लेफ्ट में जो डायरेक्शन है, in general, the direction that is there on your left, it could be anywhere there. But when I say to your left, so I am indicating that, okay, this is a very specific location, to your left. Okay, so it becomes more specific, the location. Also, to is used more often when we indicate some movement. So that's when it's used more often, right? On is not incorrect there also, but it's used more often. So pretty much interchangeable, just a very subtle difference. On is a more general direction, while to is more specific, right? Okay, so I hope this makes sense, and you've got this idea that you need to prepare for prepositions, right? So I've told you that any good standard grammar book will have fill in the blanks questions based on prepositions. Do practice. Okay, do practice from those books. Renan Martin, Raymond Murphy, both are good. I prefer Renan Martin, so I would suggest that to you, right? Punctuation. Let's come to the next topic for the day, and let's see how fast we can answer these questions, because it's just about, you don't have to look for other errors. It's just about punctuation. Yes. Okay. To indicates a specific location, Milan. Okay, D Delhi is what you say. It is incorrect, you say. All right. Just. Charu says B is incorrect. Amit C. Okay. And Priya says A. Okay, so I've got all the responses out here. All right, all right, all right. Let's have a look. Having finished the project. This is a phrase. Okay. And if I put it in layperson terms, this is my main idea. Yes, so this is the clause. This is my independent clause. Basically, मैं आपको ये बताना चाहती हूँ. This is what I want to tell you. Yeah. So when we put a phrase in the beginning and then we follow it up with an independent clause, then after the phrase we have to put a comma. Yes. Having finished the project, comma, I started watching TV. Right. Otherwise, it will look like the project is describing I if I don't put a comma here. Project I, right? No, there needs to be a comma here. How are you, Rima? Now, why some of you are saying that B is incorrect is because when we talk to each other, I don't really pause. after saying how are you and then say Rima. How are you, Rima? We say it in the same breath. But punctuation is not identical. It's not exactly the same as the pauses that we put when we say something. Okay, the pauses that we take when we say something is not the same as punctuation. Remember that. So in written English, after how are you, if I'm naming someone, I have to separate the name with a comma. So how are you, comma, Rima is absolutely correct. No problem here. So B can't be the answer, A can't be the answer. Shakespeare, the great playwright. Now this is a description of Shakespeare. Now some additional information about Shakespeare. Notice the spelling of playwright. We discussed it in the vocabulary session. Shakespeare, the great playwright, there needs to be a comma here. Whenever I put something as additional information, it is put in between these two commas that are called parenthetical commas. ये कौन से होते हैं? Parenthetical commas. Parenthesis means brackets. So they do the job of brackets. So this was missing here. This is incorrect. Okay. Now I absolutely empathize with those of you who said D, because some of you actually exhibit deep knowledge of punctuation. These are all independent clauses. What do I mean by independent clause? A sentence, basically an idea that is complete in itself, that can stand on its own 2 feet. That's an independent clause. So when I say I came, it's a full-fledged sentence, right? I saw, again a sentence. So these are three independent clauses. Ideally, we cannot join independent clauses using just a comma. A comma is not enough to join two sentences, right? We ideally join them using semicolons. So I came, I saw, I conquered. But grammar says that, when these are very short, when these clauses are very short, बहुत छोटे छोटे हैं ना, I came, I saw, I conquered, तब comma भी चल जाता है, right? Comma चल जाएगा, comma will do. So that's what grammar says, and that's why, because our standard grammar books are saying this, we accept it, and this is correct, and the answer is C. C had a very obvious error. Okay, hope this makes sense to everyone. Yes, absolutely correct, Smriti. C is the answer here. Now, let's have a look at this. Incorrect use of the apostrophe. Let's see. Okay. B I've got. What else? That's it. Everyone says B, is it? No, I've got, I think somebody said D also. Yes, in between. Okay, I've got a C also. ठीक है. Let's have a look. So, Anjali's watch. So, watch belonging to Anjali, and Anjali is a living being. So, I mean, she's wearing a watch. The wearer of a watch, I'm assuming, is a living being. So, Anjali's watch is an absolutely correct expression. Watch belonging to Anjali. So, no error here. The child's toy is missing. Child's. Uh, child is a singular noun. Children is the plural noun. So, how do we put apostrophes here? Child ka toy, right? Child apostrophe S, not S apostrophe. So this is incorrect. This is the answer. Children apostrophe S again. Okay, so this is incorrect, eliminated. Now, eliminated, sorry, this is the answer. Now, C says Nicholas's book is missing. So now you must be wondering, why did I not say Nicholas apostrophe S? Because Nicholas is one person, right? It's not like it's not a plural noun. So for instance, if I say the boys shoes are lying here, So here, because boys is a plural noun, after that I do not put an apostrophe S, I just put an apostrophe when a plural noun ends in an S. when a plural noun ends in an S. But this is not even a plural noun, so why am I not saying Nicholas's? Actually, here it's your choice. Okay, you can use Nicholas's also, that's also fine, and you can use Nicholas apostrophe also. The idea that we are not writing an extra S is it's difficult to speak. Nicholas's. थोड़ा सा difficult है बोलने में. That's why people skip this S with singular proper nouns also. Right? So instead of saying Jesus's, you can simply say Jesus teachings. Okay. Instead of saying Keats's poems, you can say Keats poems. But you will not be wrong even if you put an S here. Okay. Just remember that. So this is fine. The girl's purse is missing. Girl, car purse, girl apostrophe S. No error there. So B Bangalore is the answer. Right? Sham, if we didn't have these rules, no, you would have a hard time understanding what I'm saying right now. Okay, so B is the answer here. All right. Let's have a look at the 13th one. Incorrect usage of apostrophe again. Teacher's Day. Absolutely correct. Yes, Ishika. No, Nandini. Unless you are referring to many Anjalis. Let's say there are 5 Anjalis in your class, right? And they have, let's say, their books are lying around. So, Anjali's books, in that case, you would say that, okay? Otherwise, it's very odd to say this. Okay, B versus D. All right, all right. B versus D again. Okay, so this isn't working. Okay, this is not working. We have just contracted it and said this isn't working. It's a contraction. So this is fine. No problem here. Now see, apostrophes show belonging also, possession also. They are used for contractions also. VR ka contraction is this only. So no error here as well. Wheel, again, contraction of we will. No error here. This is the problematic sentence. The airlines, first of all, plural. Okay, so what is the verb that I need here? The airlines let people get their pets along. Okay, let's is a singular verb. Moreover, even if let's say this sentence were this, the airline, even if I were talking about just one airline, then also I would say let's. No apostrophe here. This is not showing any possession. There is no contraction. It's simply a singular verb. So lets, let's. Right? Even in that case. And here let. So D is the problematic one. Very easy question because airlines was plural. Right? Okay, let's have a look at this one. 14th. All right, all right. So I've got one D. Okay, a couple of Ds. What else? B. Okay. Someone was asking earlier if I'm able to hear my own voice in these earphones. No, no. It would become very difficult to teach that way. Yeah. B. All right. That's what I'm getting. So, competition over. Of course, this does not make any sense because even if, let's say, you wanted to ask elliptical questions. So there are some questions that are called elliptical questions which are not complete. However, you understand it from the context what the person means. So even if let's say this person wants to ask, is the competition over, and he or she just says competition over. So then this is one complete idea, right? In this case, the should still be capitalized, right? So anyway, incorrect. Now, competition over, the participant won. In that case, it should be has. This cannot be the answer. There is no punctuation at all. Competition over the participants. Competition was happening over the participants. No. B is the only possible, only correct answer. Okay? So B is the answer here. Competition over. Basically, you've contracted this idea. Once the competition was over, the participant. Okay, sorry. Now that the competition is over, because the participants have left, right? Present tense. Now that the competition is over, the participants have left. So instead of writing this entire story, you just chose to contract this phrase into two words, right? B Bangalore is the correct one. Okay. Now let's have a look at the usage of semicolon. So we have so far looked at a comma, an apostrophe, usage of apostrophe for possession and for contractions. Okay, now let's have a look at this semicolon. How many questions to go? We are on the 15th one, right? 5 more to go. But they are good questions, okay? Error spotting and sentence correction. Good questions. Okay. 6 more to go, sorry. 15 है ना अभी? ठीक है. All right. So A, C, okay. A, C, ठीक है. Let's have a look if it should be A or C. Rick gifted me. Why do I need a semicolon here? Rick gifted me something. So I don't need any punctuation mark between me and something. Incorrect. I am going for a holiday again. Complete idea, right? It's an independent clause. Similarly, life is too short. Again, a complete sentence, independent clause. So, when you want to join two independent clauses, simply a comma is not enough. Just a comma is not enough. What is used instead? A semicolon. Right? A semicolon can join two independent clauses, and this will then not be capitalized. L will be small. So, C is correct. When I was in Delhi, this is just a phrase and this is my clause. So I just need a comma. Phrase and clause you can join through commas. I want some cups. Nothing required here, and saucers. So the answer is C. ठीक है? All right. SNAP punctuation questions, absolutely. See, in punctuation, again, they are checking whether you know the difference between the usage of comma and semicolon. So we did that. Whether you know the multiple purposes for which an apostrophe can be used. Okay. Whether you know when to use a question mark, when not to use it. So ultimately, they are also checking it through what error spotting, sentence correction. That's what we are also doing. Yes. So let's have a look at error detection. Now, you have to spot an error here. And while you do this, I have an apostrophe based question for you. I'm writing it here. So after doing 16th, we'll do that also. I have done it in the 12 p.m. session. I'm just repeating it here. Okay. So if I say, answer the 16th one right now. No, for that, this is a relatively easy level. Okay, you should use the best sports equipment. Yes, equipment. The plural of equipment is equipment only. Just like furniture. Right. So basically, when you say furniture, you refer to everything that is wooden and is used for a specific purpose in your house. Similarly, equipment, all your machinery, right, collectively is your equipment. So this is wrong, right? Similarly, aircraft. The plural of aircraft is aircraft only, not aircrafts. Because when I say aircraft, I refer to all the basically planes that you have. right? So many aircraft, single aircraft. Equipment, again the same logic. Furniture, the same logic. So B is erroneous here. Now somebody was asking something about the previous question. Can we use colon here? Rick gifted me. Rick gifted me three things. Then you can use a colon there. Rick gifted me three things. Okay. I wonder who Joe is though, right? Probably a dog, I'm hoping. Yeah. So Rick gifted me three things. Now, when you're naming those three things, you can very well put a colon. A colon is used to introduce a list. That's what you're doing here. Right. But gifted me what is required. The object is required here because I need a complete sentence before a colon. I need a complete idea before a colon. Right. I can't have an incomplete idea before a colon. Remember this. Okay. Now, let's have a look at uh, the next question. Acha, no, sorry. I wrote this for you, no? Here, this sentence. Ravi and Ria's weddings are in Dubai. Correct sentence or incorrect sentence? Yes. Ravi and Ria's weddings are in Dubai. For IIFT, yes, but do practice the previous year questions also because not the entire grammar of IIFT is going to be easy, right? It's going to be a mixed bag. Also, last year we noticed this that IIFT was very specific in its questions in the sense that, let's say, it clearly mentioned this that, okay, has the verb been used correctly in the following sentences? So it was specifically questioning you on verbs, specifically questioning you on nouns and basically countable and uncountable nouns, right? So I haven't included those questions because you can always practice the previous year papers yourself, right? Uh, Basically, the idea is that if miscellaneous questions come, can you identify which part has an error, right? If I don't specify that, okay, the nouns probably in these parts are erroneous, can you identify it yourself, right? It should be Ravi's and Ria's weddings. Either I say Ravi's and Ria's weddings if there are two weddings, or if let's say they are getting married to each other, then it will be Ravi and Ria's wedding is in Dubai. Okay, the concept of joint ownership and separate ownership. Joint ownership and separate ownership. So Ravi and Ria's wedding is in Dubai. This will be correct. That will show that they are getting married to each other, or Ravi's and Ria's weddings. Then they are getting married to different people. Right? Hope this is clear to you. Single apostrophe means joint ownership, whereas two different apostrophes means separate ownership. Right. Coming to the 17th question. Yes. So Savni, then I should say Ravi's and Ria's weddings. Ravi's and Ria's weddings. Now, what do you say about this one? Okay. All right. What else? Do we agree with what some of you have written? So, what do I need here after the painting? After the painting, I need an adverb, isn't it? So look at the painting closely and you can see the painter's initials. This is fine. Painter apostrophe S is fine. No error here. The error is simply here. I need an adverb. Okay, closely. All right, all right. Question 18. Grammatically incorrect. Grammatically incorrect. Incorrect one. Yes, that's what you have to find. Let's see what you say. So I have four separate sentences here. Good evening, ma'am. Synonyms, antonyms. कैसे निकालें? Okay. All right, all right. B is what you say. Some of you say C. Charu says A. See, synonym, antonyms, Bhavya, you may not know the exact, let's say, meaning of a particular word. I understand that. But whenever you come across a word, let's say something as basic as, let's say, strident. Okay. Now you don't know the meaning of strident, right? But you may have heard it somewhere in some context. You may have read it in the newspaper somewhere. So first of all, try to recall that context if you can. Okay. So let's say you heard it in the context of protests. So you realize that this is not a word that's very uh, peaceful, perhaps in nature, right? That's not very positive, so to say. I'm not saying that it is negative, but it's not very positive or peaceful, so to say. That's how I think I can put it. So then look at your options. Maybe some of them are too positive, and you have to look for an antonym, right? So probably one of these is the answers. Yes, the ones that match in tone, they will not probably be the answer. So what you are doing is you are recalling words from context and then you are grouping your options, right? Or if let's say two options are very, very close in terms of the meanings of the words, probably neither of them is the answer. Probably, right? So when you do not know the exact meaning, you can guess like this by recalling the context, by eliminating on the basis of the connotation. This is called the connotation, or very similar meanings of words. Okay, so here we can then make a guess, a calculated guess. Let me say that also. If you're able to narrow down to two options and you have a 60-40 hunch, then you can make a calculated guess in SNAP, right? Okay, coming to our, okay, I've got multiple responses here. A, B, ठीक है, बहुत सारे responses हैं. Let's have a look. So here A is the answer. A growing body of evidence shows, this is fine. Growing body of evidence shows something. That simple rules match or beat. Even this is fine. Rules plural, so match or beat plural verbs. More complicated analysis across a wide range of. When I say wide range of something, this has to be plural if it's a countable noun. Wide range of decisions, not decision. Okay, so I hope this makes sense. A is the erroneous one here. Others are fine. B, C, and D are fine. No errors there. Yes, those who marked B, C, and D, what did you think was the error? In the last sentence, is the colon necessary? All firms must balance two conflicting but equally important demands. Yes, I need a punctuation mark there, right? It could be an M dash. It could be an M dash like this. After demands, I place an M dash. Efficiency and flexibility. Okay. Or it could be a colon. Basically, I'm just naming those two things. So an M dash will do, a colon will do, but I need something there, right? So sometimes students place commas also there. Comma is also not incorrect, but it doesn't give out the intention as clearly as an M dash or as a colon. The difference between an M dash and a colon is that this is less formal, while a colon is more formal, right? That's the difference. Hope this makes sense. A is the answer. Okay, let's have a look at the 19th question. All right. Let's see what you say. Good, Smriti. Just saw your message. Appropriate option that has a grammatically incorrect interrogative statement. Shouldn't there be a comma after but in option B? Manasa is asking this. Let's just go back to the previous question. Sorry. Okay, you are saying that I should put a comma here. See, you can put it, it's not incorrect if you put it, but it's correct this way also. Okay, basically what you've done here is you are joining two ideas. Okay, so because they are complete ideas, because they're independent clauses, you are using a comma plus a coordinating conjunction. Coordinating conjunctions are fanboys. Okay, for and, let me just write it only, for and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. Right. So I told you that independent clauses cannot be joined with just a comma, but with a comma and a fanboys conjunction, they can be joined. So comma plus but. This is absolutely fine here. Now, should I put a comma here or not? Actually, it is optional. Okay. You can put a comma here to indicate that, okay, you're saying, but they shouldn't be difficult to grasp, but it's not essential. It's not essential. Okay. So that's why no error here. Okay. Conflicts or conflicting. Two conflicting demands. Na, see, conflicting is an adjective here. Conflicting and important, both are describing demands. Both are adjectives here. Right? Hope this makes sense. Okay. Then rules may be developed using. Okay. You are saying that I should say rules may be developed by using. Okay, by is also, see, I can put a by here. Rules may be developed by using models, but rules may be developed using something. So if I say you can accomplish this task using a stick. Okay, so using a stick is also correct. By using a stick is also fine. It's just an additional redundant word, in my opinion. Using a stick clarifies the idea that, okay, that is your instrument, you're using it. Right? Then shouldn't it be a much more in the first sentence? I think you're talking about another question. We'll come to that. We'll come to that. All right. Perfect. Perfect then. So I hope this is clear to you. That is the answer here. Any query, please ask. Any other query if you have, we can always discuss. Now, question 19. Choose the most appropriate option that has a grammatically incorrect interrogative statement. I have already got some answers here. Okay. So let's see. What information and language should the problem statement include? What should it include? Correct structure. What should it include? Had you have a chance? Had you have a chance? Is this the correct way to ask the question? Or have you had a chance? Have you had a chance? Right? So B is the erroneous one here, not C, not C. C is fine. Do we have the necessary support? Do we have the support that we need? So this is fine, no error here. Do we have, this is the structure. Are complex organizations far more difficult? Even this is fine. So B, Bangalore is the erroneous one. I expected more B's here. What has happened, guys? Okay, just two more questions to go. I want you to be more enthusiastic, more responsive. Let's have a look at a couple of sentence correction questions. Yes, let's see what you say here. Darshit says B. Acha, for I think the previous one. All right. B, C. Okay. I've got an A also. C. Okay. C again. D. So A, B, C, D. I've got all the options. A is okay again. All right, all right. So see, you felt that the questions were easy. Yes, you were saying this sometime back, but now I'm getting all sorts of options here. Although she was considered among her contemporaries to be the better poet than her husband. To be the better poet than her husband or to be a better poet than her husband? Oh, makes more sense, yes. So when I'm comparing and immediately using than afterwards, so a better poet than her husband is what fits, right? Not the, right? Later, Cassia was overshadowed by his success. Can a person be overshadowed by another person's success? See, your success can be overshadowed by someone else's success, but you yourself, can you be overshadowed by someone's success? Unlikely. Yes, unlikely. Yes. So here the comparison itself is flawed. Eliminated. So I've identified two problems. Let's have a look at B, C, and D. So later overshadowed by the success of her husband, Cassia's poetry. Was her poetry overshadowed or was her success overshadowed? It was her success, right? That was overshadowed. So again, flawed comparison, wrong comparison between C and D. Although her success was later overshadowed by that of her husband, so that means the success of her husband, this is good. Among her contemporaries, she was considered the better poet. So among her contemporaries, she was considered the better poet. Here, the better poet is correct. When you want to say, oh, he is the better of the two, okay, you're not using than afterwards, then the is correct. Okay, but when you say than, then a is correct. So यहाँ पर than नहीं है. She was considered to be the better poet. This seems like a correct sentence to me. Let's compare it with D. Cassia's poetry was considered among her contemporaries as better. First of all, this as is not required. It was considered better is enough. It was considered as better is an incorrect construction. Okay, but so her poetry was considered among her contemporaries as better than her husband. We are comparing her poetry to her husband. This is some comparison, yes? So, flawed again. C is our answer. By no, 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 no. It should not be by that of her husband's. Harsh has asked a very good question. See, Harsh, when I say off, when I use the off, then I don't require the apostrophe. Okay, either I say by her husband's, either I say by her husband's. Okay, by her husband's. That is fine. Or by that of her husband. Once you've used of, you will not repeat apostrophe s here. Okay. ठीक है, perfect. So I'm assuming this is clear to everyone and you now understand why C is the answer. This is the best out of the lot and in fact this is making the correct comparisons using the correct prepositions. Great. The last question for the day. Choose the correct sentence. Okay. That as part of speech. So see that here has been used as a pronoun. That functions as a relative pronoun, right? So that has been used as a pronoun. That can function as a relative pronoun. That can function as a demonstrative pronoun. So if you go into the depth of pronouns, there are various types. So it can be a relative. Basically here it functioned as a pronoun. It referred to the success, right? So it can function as a demonstrative pronoun. Okay. So these are its functions. All right. So I've got C. No, I haven't got C. Okay. D Delhi. C. Okay. So see, he will literally drive his wife up the wall. Literally. Should I use literally? Okay, I've got B, C, and D, but okay, good. Nobody said A. Actually, nobody should have said B also. See, he's not going to do some, literally means actually doing that thing. Okay, so literally is incorrect here. He won't actually do it. Drive his wife up a wall. Eliminated. It's between C and D. So Ketan has to be more discrete. Remember statistics, discrete series. Discrete means distinct, separate. Distinct, separate. Whereas this discrete means careful. So Ketan has to be more careful or he will drive his wife up the wall. Idiom. This is an idiom here. To drive someone up the wall. To just irritate them to no end. That is to drive them up the wall. All right, Mohit. Let's not make such dangerous conjectures. Okay, so D, Delhi is the answer here. So these were some sentence correction questions, right? Error spotting we've covered, then we've covered fill in the blank. So these are the usual grammar questions that you get, right? Uh, I suggest that you practice all your previous year papers also, very, very important. And in the exam, if you have, lengthy sentences, then don't speed read through them, particularly in error spotting, because if you speed read through them very quickly, you miss the errors. Similarly, when you attempt sentence correction questions, so for instance, when we attempted this one here, just look vertically as to spot the differences. Okay, so discrete, discrete, different. Literally, and here not literally, that's the difference. So spot the differences, read vertically. That helps. That saves time also. And do practice from your previous year papers. There is no better source to practice grammar questions from. Okay? Yes, they are metaphorical. Okay. Uh, Mohit was joking, Harsh. So do recommend this program to your friends in case any of your friends are preparing for CAT 2023, right? A pretty comprehensive one, this one, and a lot of tests, a lot of expert guidance available here, right? These are our upcoming sessions. So Gaurav sir will talk to you about number system next. Naveen sir will talk to you about LR, right? I don't know what, this is a very mysterious topic, understanding the logic behind logical reasoning. So you guys know better what he'll talk about. Lastly, don't forget to join us for the analysis, SNAP analysis at 6 p.m. And we'll also have a first impression right after the first slot, right? Right after the December 10 exam. Once it gets over, we'll have a first impression, then detailed analysis at 6 p.m. Right? Do follow us on various social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and yes, we can stay connected via Telegram as well. Right? Welcome, welcome. Migratory words can appear, Omkar. Migratory words can appear in IFT as well as in SNAP. So my suggestion to you is see, IFT can ask sometimes some very weird questions when it comes to foreign words or migratory words. So please practice from previous year papers right now. Okay. In case you have this older version of WordPar Made Easy. I remember this older version used to have a list of migratory words. In case you have that, then you can learn some from there. Right? Yes, Shobit. Welcome, welcome all of you. I'll see you next time then. Yes, with another session for another exam. See you. Bye bye. Welcome, welcome. Thank you, Gaurav. Bye bye.